In this video, we are going to work on reclassifying a raster formally, or I guess computationally. We're going to make a new raster. In the last video, we worked with symbology classifying a raster. And in this one, we're going to make a copy of this file, essentially, with our newly reclassified elevation bands. This is an elevation raster. Worked out into a clearer and more useful format for modeling. A lot of times when we have elevation data, and not just elevation, it could be climate data, it could be land cover, it could be anything that is stored as a raster. We need to manipulate that data into an easier to use format for models or for workflows or what have you. And one of the really common ways that we do that is with binary modeling, where we have zeros and ones. It's binary, and zeros are representing things that are false, things that are bad, things that are no good, and ones are representing things that are true, things that are good, things that are suitable, whatever you might do. Those are kind of the traditions of binary modeling, but every field, every domain, every area of practice might have their own modeling ideas. We can reclassify our raster data to meet whatever ideas we have. In this case, we are meeting the ideas that we want to reclassify this lovely elevation data into suitable and unsuitable elevation. Suitable elevation is our elevations between 500 and 600 meters, which are here in that lovely purple color. Unsuitable elevation is everything else. Our suitable elevation is going to be equal to 1. Our unsuitable elevation is going to be equal to 0. I've kind of got that going already with my lovely classified raster here. But as we can see, the values are still there. This is not zeros and ones. I've got this pixel value is still 700, 500. The classification's in there, so that's helpful. I can see class 1 or class 0 because it's Python, so it starts counting at 0. Class 0, class 1, class 2. But the pixel values are still there. If I pop this into a workflow that's expecting zeros and ones, it's not going to have a good time when it has values of 319 or 755. So we can actually use a tool called Reclassify to reclassify our raster. This is available in both the 3D Analyst and the Spatial Analyst toolbox. These are extra extensions. Say that 10 times fast. These are extra extensions that will need to be enabled by your ArcGIS Pro administrator. And depending on the way you have it installed, you will have site-specific, install-specific instructions on how to do that. I know mine are enabled because it loaded. What does it want? It wants a raster. It then asks for a field. I only have one field in my raster, so that was easy. And then if you've already symbolized your data, it absorbs those values right in. So we don't even have to redo that work of reclassifying. Now, it's probably good practice to symbolize it first so you know what to expect, so that you're not working to be surprised by your data that will pop up in its reclassified form. So if you reclassify it once, or if you classify it once symbologically, the reclassify tool then takes that work. We love it when it all works out. What I do need to change, though, is this new value. I said that suitable elevation is between 500 and 600 meters. And I was going to make suitable elevation a value of 1. And then I said all other elevation is unsuitable. And those were going to be a value of 0. So there we go. Everything low is a 0. Everything suitable is a 1. Everything high is a 0. And no data is no data. We generally do not want to mess with our no data in Reclassify. There are some tricks you can do, but in this case, we're keeping it simple. Remember, no data is not the same as 0. It's an important thing to remember. We're going to output this raster where I want it. I want it in my default geodatabase. That is where I want this file. Make sure when you're outputting this file, it is going where you want it. Remember that the default geodatabase is not the appropriate place if you're working on a shared computer or a computer that wipes itself regularly. You might want to put it on a flash drive or in a separate folder that you can upload later. If you're on your own computer, default geodatabase is probably okay. I'm going to call this reclass 250K because that is the name of my DEM 250K. So I will know what that means. Let's hit run. Depending on the size of the raster, it will run shorter or longer. Even though this is a big raster, reclassify is an easy thing to ask. And look at that. Now my color scheme has changed. I love the random colors that Arc throws up. I have no idea what the algorithm is to select them, but they always look so good. This is very Los Angeles Lakers colors adjacent. And as you can see, I can flip back and forth. Now, my unsuitable areas have been reclassified permanently to zeros. My good areas are ones. I could flip back and see that a little bit more. And if I were to click on one of these pixels, I would see that the value, 0. The value, 1. You can get a little count of how many there are. Because I've reclassified, I've simplified the data structure, so I can even peek at the attribute table of this file. See how many pixels that I have. So this video has been about reclassifying a raster. Note also, my original file is still there. I did nothing to this file. It is still good. It is still safe. So if you mess up a reclassify, no problem. Remove it, do it again. We reclassified based on some symbology classification we did previously, made a new file, and now I'm set for the modeling I need to do.